And thank you for being here. I'm honored to have you here.
Yeah, our pleasure. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
So, let's see, where should we begin? I guess, well, let's talk a little bit about both of you. I know you're both award-winning documentary filmmakers and activists as well. So, this whole journey with this movie has gotten me thinking about a lot of things. So,
That's what these films are meant to, ask these big questions, especially as technology becomes a bigger part of our lives. Like, shouldn't we know the people who invented the technologies we use, who are thinking about them, especially when it's so hard to understand ourselves?
oh yes, yes, yes. So it was really intriguing to see Vitalik. He's the creator of Ethereum, and which is still mind-boggling that this man has so much intelligence. And how does all that stuff come out? Like I don't get it.
Yeah, even when he's 7 years old and he's making Encyclopedia of Bunnies, right? Like
Oh my
crazy.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, how can anybody be that smart? So what got you? I know, right? I know. So what got you to make this movie, first of all?
Great question. So we were actually making another film in the crypto space called This Is Not Financial Advice. And we had reached out because we wanted to talk to Vitalik. But as soon as we met Vitalik,
Hmm.
we were walking in this, redwood grove, and he like looks at a log and is like, oh, that's logarithmic. I mean, he's just like a funny, quirky guy that like immediately is captivating in a way that kind of breaks some of the stereotypes, at least I had, of this space. And Chris and I, we don't come from like we aren't crypto experts. We make films about human beings, character-driven films, and that's what we really care about. We started Optimist to create films that nurture optimism in the world and create impact. Like that's our goal as filmmakers. And yeah, we met Vitalik and we're really interested. I mean, immediately just really intrigued by who he was. And he's kind of the perfect participant of a film because he has this reluctance to be in the spotlight. So he has this humbleness and like you can tell his authenticity. But at the time when we met him, it was really important for him to speak up. And quickly he was on the front cover of Time magazine, kind of talking about what he was concerned about in the space. And I think we just got really lucky that he was willing to do this film because of where he was at.
What do you think what people will get out of the film from seeing it? What do you think that the main thing that you want to portray out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's really cool with Vitalik is, I think he puts forward a model of a different kind of tech leader, somebody who is very different than an Elon Musk or a Mark Zuckerberg or a Jeff Bezos right now, who are these
Right.
very centralized, controlling, big personality leaders. And I think Vitalik, through both the values he's coded into Ethereum of making it decentralized, so the fact that he's not in control of it, and just the his his goals and ways of operating the organization, I think are very different. And I think right now, as we come into a lot of technological change with AI, with crypto,
Hmm.
this is the moment for all of us as viewers, whether we know anything about crypto or not, to become educated about technology and to understand how we can make it better, how we can kind of parse the middle line between not all technology is good and not all technology is bad. There's usually something in the middle here that I think this story can take you on a journey of.
Wow. Well, one thing I got out of it was him talking about the open internet accessibility, right? That's how the model was supposed to be formed. So, little confusing for me understanding that how you have an internet community that's community, right? It's people and apps and things like that, and not controlled by the big guys, so we don't
Yeah.
have censorship and so on and so forth. So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think uh we exist in a space now where like the big guys do control our experience on the internet. Meta controlling how we are exist on Facebook and Instagram and all of these things. And when people are, people trying to push back on that through creating infrastructure or tools to kind of create a more open internet is really important. And so, the at the same time, it's messy because it's not as clean as like having Amazon take care of everything for you, right?
Mhm.
And so it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time, and ultimately we'll see if Vitalik's vision, becomes fruitful. And I think in some places it makes a lot more sense than others, like immediately to people, right? In Argentina, where the state has kind of flubbed, like, I mean, with hyperinflation and, people
Right,
like life savings kind of disappear in moments, like they really get why uh Ethereum can be helpful to them and are already using it in much more kind of daily uses than in a lot of places. Or in Ukraine, where the financial system kind of broke down at the beginning of the
right,
war, and crypto and Ethereum allowed for money to be mobilized incredibly quickly to the front lines, when, you know, there was no other alternatives. So there's some really, still, like, those are still extreme use cases, right?
yeah.
Where a government's broken down, or where um a war is broken out, but like these are real world things that are happening.
I felt like I was in the Matrix, basically.
Yeah.
That's how
Yes.
I felt when I saw, and then he did the upgrade, and then they showed everything. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like inside the Matrix or something. So it's still mind blowing. It's still really mind blowing, the movie, because I'm a techie. I started in technology in '82, and
Wow.
I still don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I don't
mean,
know how he does his magic on there. I saw his board and he has calculus and all this other stuff on there and algorithms. And it's like, how do you do that? It just blows my mind, you
yeah,
know?
I think that's a lot of our experiences, and I'm right there with you. After spending 2 years, like, this technology today is so complex that no one person is ever going to be able to understand all of it. And I think that's why films like this hopefully can give you like a window into at least understanding the people behind it. Because if we can understand their motivations, like Vitalik growing up in Russia and his
Right,
family leaving Russia when Putin was coming to power, kind of fleeing that authoritarian risk,
right.
and uh, him kind of traveling the world as a nomad and meeting these societies that are trying to exist outside of the normal system. You get to see why he's interested in creating this kind of crazy, chaotic, decentralized space, and why he's so protective of that, because he has real world experience when too much power centralized can
Mm.
be really bad for people.
And he's very more into humanity, right? He's
Yeah.
more a humanitarian. He wants to connect people. It's not about the money. Even though many people go into crypto for the money and their millionaires been brought all over the place, right? So talk a little bit about that, because I'm not sure how do we connect that?
Yeah.
How does that connect?
Yeah, I mean, one of the real struggles that Vitalik has in the film is how much to speak out against the speculation and the gambling that had been happening within crypto, and what his role was to step into that leadership position and say, no, this is really bad. It's doesn't make sense to be buying $3 million monkeys and trading them between each other. And I think he really doesn't think he says at the end of the film that if all crypto is used for is speculation, that's a really missed opportunity. And I love that, right? That like there are incredible opportunities like Zach was talking about for this technology to try to get at the core of these problems and fixing those. And speculation isn't one of those problems.
I think we have a lot to learn. I guess the second, third generations later, the kids now, right? The little kids now will be more in depth with this.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to learn crypto, so just trying I think it's going to be a very interesting movie for people to really like go, wow, like this. That's what this is what it is. Like a different concept of just making money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope
Well,
that's what people get to like be surprised. That's what makes a good film, is you don't walk away, uh maybe it challenges some of the
It does.
you thought things were
Yeah, oh
when
yeah,
you
it
consider
challenged me. I've been reading like watch the movie, reading, looking stuff up. I'm like, I'm still trying to figure it out.
yeah.
How do I get into the community? How do you be part of it? Like,
Yeah.
I know Vitalik has a website and stuff that you can go to, and then there's things about communities. I did searching on it, Ethereum communities, and so I'm still trying to figure it out. So I hope everybody who sees the movie will take it into their hand to be more educated, right? And to learn more and maybe participate and realize that it's something important.
Yeah.
And there's been a really cool community that has rallied around the film and been really engaging. What we did with the film this fall was we did a decentralized theatrical release in 24 countries and across 30 different cities where people who were inspired by this could host their own screening, bring it to whatever town, city that they lived in, and do it all in a one night theatrical showing to all watch together. And that is at the ethos of what this film is about too, is bringing that community together and empowering that sort of community action.
Yeah, you could do that down here in Miami or Orlando. There's so many people. I mean, I remember when the NFTs came out a few years ago, and I'm like, NFT, what the heck is an NFT? Like all these
Yeah.
different things, and I'm still mind-boggling. I mean, AI is one thing. Now we have this too. So it's it's wow. It's just wow. Like be
Wild
ready for
West.
where the future is here. The Jetsons, right? We're here. The
Totally.
all that stuff that we thought would never happen is here.
Yeah.
And I think this question, like, are you a techno optimist or not, is one that Vitalik asks himself. Like, he believes fundamentally that technology does have that power to make the world better. And he believes fundamentally human beings are good and will use the technology for good. And obviously some won't. But I think that's going to be a thing that we all have to ask ourselves with AI too, is like, do we believe that humans will use this for good?
Well, we hope so, right? We hope. I mean, that's what we want. And that's how hopefully we can, I don't know how we can control that, but hopefully people will have good-hearted and learn from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and techno literacy, I think, will help with that, right? The more people
Yes.
understand, the better they'll be able to make those informed decisions. Because there have been unintended and negative consequences as a result of crypto, and you see it a little bit in the film, obviously the speculation, but North Korea has hacked
Yeah.
crypto for over $6 billion now, right? And like, that happens when you break existing systems and you're trying to transition into new ones. Is there's going to be these growing pains and issues and challenges along the way. You hope that the good outweighs the bad.
Exactly. That we don't get any more hack attack or something. The hackers are
Yeah.
always out there. I heard, like they said, that big companies hire what? Hackers to like control their systems and all this stuff, which I'm like blown away. I know the FBI knows and all that stuff because they look into all that stuff, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
I
It
don't know
is
why would
crazy.
anybody do anything bad. Like it doesn't matter. Every time we got a virus on the computer and I had to resolve it in an office, I was like, really? Like,
I
really?
know.
Why did you do that?
Like, you just messed up my day. Yeah.
Exactly. I have to rebuild a whole server now.
Yes.
So well, guys, I appreciate you so much. I looked into other documentaries, so hopefully I'll speak to you again about some other films you're doing.
Yeah.
I see some
Yeah,
good
we have a
things
lot
that
of films based in Latin America, especially. We've made our first film in Guatemala, and we go back every year and have done a lot of films there touching issues of immigration and so yeah, we'll
Well, we have a new film coming out soon. We'll let you know too. It's about a skateboard collective in Bolivia. So it's
Oh,
not crypto related. It's a little
okay.
easier to
A
understand.
little easier, yeah. My mind's going like crazy. I've like been reading so much and I feel like I just barely touched the surface.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but that's great. Yeah, definitely keep me posted. I'd love to talk to you again and just, be part of this community and let's see where we go.
Thanks
yeah,
so
thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Peace out.